Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 1. We've got a full round of fixtures for you today. It's not often we can get to say that at the moment with the teams in different competitions and all that sort of stuff going on. But yeah, a full round today. I'm Chad Megahorse, of course, and we are expecting Quinton to join soon once his computer decides it's wanting to work. But let's take a quick look at the fixtures for today. You can see there 11th versus 12th, Iron Curtain versus Imaginary Madrid. Sounds like a big game. It is a big game, but the teams have played very, very differently to each other this season. Ewan Rovers versus Trafford, so the team expected to win the league, versus people's, what's the best way to put it, candidate for manager of the season there in Mr. Shaw. We've got Falaraki versus East Coast. Again, two teams that are performing well, but they're quite, I don't know, not quite leagues apart, but they are certainly a little bit more distance than it says. Hools versus Badgers, attacking side against the Hools, who we know they're certainly a top three side, but they've been a great concept that we've had this season. We also have got Phoenix versus Fortuna. And these two sides probably the most separate teams in the division so far. Phoenix pushing for the title. Fortuna flirting with that 9th, 10th, 11th kind of position in the table so far. Racers versus Flamingos. Two teams, one position apart. Couldn't be any further from the truth how distant they've been though, with Racers on points and Flamingos not. And Wolfies Wolves. We haven't got Mr. Wolf in at the moment, but hopefully we will have him in soon. We do have a cover teacher in as got him in on supply. David taking over the Wolves for today versus Allenwell, who I cannot believe just the crisis that is going on there. It's like the players don't want to be fit. I mean, I do feel for Rob. We'll have a look at their team when it comes round. A few people are in the chat. Just in case you missed the start there, Quinton is delayed at the moment. He will be around, but I'm going to get started. His, as he puts it, his computer is on 100% on the updates and is doing nothing. He'll be in the chat, I'm sure, at some point. Probably now. But, his computer is being a bit silly. So that's Fife is here, and Mr. Savage, and Josh as well. So 3 people joining. Some other silent viewers as well. Obviously, make yourself known or enjoy the show, whatever you want to do. It's all good. And we're going to get started. We're looking at a quick look at the table. We're not going to kill too much time before we get started. Hopefully the table will match up with what you've got on your screen. I'm quite prone to making mistakes by not copying things properly. But yeah, Trafford a point clear of Phoenix. Hools 3 points further back than East Coast, dropping off the pace at the beginning there. David is here. Mr. Substitute Wolf has arrived in the chat. Great to see you here tonight. You can run your team as it is from the subs. There's Mike's draw in the Swemp stake to get North Macedonia. I mean, yeah, North Macedonia qualified. Did they win Eurovision as well? Not this year, but it could be worse. It could be worse. You could end up drawing Andorra and realise they're not even in the competition. Looking a bit further down the table, we've got Arnwell, Falaraki, Badgers hoping to get back up into that battle. But it was basically a Division 1B that's now a bit more spread out. Ewan Rovers really close to Badgers, but Badgers moved ahead of them after the last round of fixtures. Wanderers Wolverhampton gone off the boil recently, and they may get it back soon. Who knows? Fortuna have been not losing many games. They've lost as many games as 6th place, but their problem is scoring the goals. Iron Curtain 4 points clear of Imaginary Madrid. That'll be an interesting battle tonight. And Racers 9 points clear of Flamingos. If they make it 12, yeah, if they make it 12. Oh, sorry, probably when they make it 12. Who knows? Fifey's slightly confident of a point tonight, though. And, who would begrudge Flamingos taking a point now under some real management? Rob's in as well from Alan Well. I have mentioned so far, Rob, your absolute crisis that's going on here. When we get to it, we'll have a proper look at this. Devils, a massive win tonight in the Super League. Yes, indeed it was. It got the show going with a great, great match there. And Pence with his hat trick there. Was it 5-1 in the end? And Flamingo's first points tonight. That's a bold statement. I mean, the odds on even a draw would be pretty high at the moment. But please, let's hope they can get going. So we go into the first game. If it's Fortuna, obviously we will go beyond that one. It is Phoenix Fortuna, so we are get the casualty theme going. I know, it's one of those things, isn't it, where it's absolute disaster, isn't it? What's going on there at the moment? Let's go to Trafford versus Ewan as our opening game for tonight. That will be a good one. I would, yeah. I mean, as a neutral, Quinton's coming in, but as a neutral fighter, yeah. I mean, I almost said Devils, if Flamingos got a draw, who wouldn't celebrate? Who would not celebrate that? You've got to say, it would be a huge thing to do that, and even as a neutral. So just waiting for Quinton to arrive. Good evening, Quinton. Let us know when you're on our stream. He's a black screen. Hello, Quinton. I think he's here. Are you there, Mr. Quinton?
I am here. I've been listening. I've been flirting with 9th, 10th, 11th. Heard I can't score goals. Well, we'll see. My computer's been silly, as you said.
Are they all accurate?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, very silly. The only trouble is now I can't see the screen.
You can't see the screen?
Well, you haven't shared your screen with me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good point, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I've been watching on my phone, but now it's gone. So I understood I was up first, and it's been superseded by this next game.
Can't share the screen. Yeah, that'd be a good one, wouldn't it?
I could make some insightful commentary, but I do need to see the game just to see what's going on with it.
No, it's much better without it. Just play blind. It's all good. Right. Anyway, so Trafford and Ewan. Mr. Dimble has arrived in the chat. Good evening, Dimble. Sorry to see your team has already lost. Oh, no, wait. No, who haven't played. So Trafford going into this one. Their last match was a 4-0 win over Racers, which obviously was never in doubt at that point. They play against Ewan, having beaten them 4-0 last time round. A Sigalko hat-trick and Tomadio coming off the bench to score. Sigalko doesn't start tonight, though. So when we look into the team here, minimal changes. Aymar's in. Cafu, Condola recalled to the defence, and Tomadio back up front with Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, well, it doesn't weaken them at all, does it? It's just a choice of choosing one of the two good players for each position, isn't it? I mean, Zidane's suspended. They've got Veron, Emerson, Ayman, Briere in midfield, so no great loss. But yeah, good result last time against these guys. It'd be interesting to see with Ewan at home if the result's any different tonight.
Yeah, need a Ewan win for the good of the league. I mean, let's we'd all love a result where a small, well, I say we'd all love, apart from those people who are actually running the teams. They've only lost twice this season, Trafford. So when you look into that, I mean, the chance of you a victory is small, but they've upset the apple cart a couple of times this season with some big results. Going into this game unchanged for today, and not a surprise really.
No, they've been doing really well, haven't they? It's I mean, as I've said many times, I'm a big fan of the Ewan concept and how they performed, and like you said earlier in the show, candidate for manager of the season. I would think because of the performance is well above the levels they should be at, and obviously you'd pick Philip Salt for Player of the Year as well. So it's a shame he's not in the starting lineup tonight, but I'm sure he'll get his customary run out off the bench. But yeah, they're an excellent team, and that's the thing, isn't it? So although the the Trafford boys have abilities somewhere between 170 and 200 probably. These guys, if you add them all up together, they probably reach one of the others, don't they? With the 6 Hyde United members they've got. But I think they'll keep it tight tonight. But I can't see anything other than a Trafford victory. However, I would love you to get a point. But I'm going to predict 3-1 Trafford. I think with the lineups.
Of course, a great season for Critchley, not just in the Swemp, but also in real life as well.
Yeah, he got promotion, didn't he? So it's 7 goals, 8 assists. I mean, it is inflated a little bit by the 13 or the 12-3 scoreline, wasn't it, in the cup against the Iron Curtain? So he's got 2 goals and 5 assists in the cup according to that. So it's not quite as good as the numbers look, but he's not looked out of place, just like the rest of the team.
No, looking into things here, so you've said 3-1, and Fifey says it as well. Can see why Trafford are top with a beautiful lineup. Yeah, they've certainly got a lineup to admire football-wise, haven't they? And Rob saying that one of the tests this morning just a 1-0, but 21 out of 26 shots on target. Josh going 4-0.
4-0 Ewan, that's a
Yeah.
big call, isn't it? Should be interesting. I presume it's a hat trick for Salt off the
Oh,
bench.
then he
There we go.
changes his mind. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, beauty is in the eye of the rimmer, apparently. And Dimble, I think he's genuinely going 3-0 Ewan in hope for this one. So we kick off. Of course, after the last round of fixtures, we did have a couple of managers dismissed and recalled. So we've got a few speed changes to make so far later on. Vieira taking a yellow card. I don't know who fouled there. Was it Van Nistelrooy maybe? And Tom Madeira's missed the target. Lots of cheering on for Ewan Rovers here. Rob also going 3-1 there for Trafford. That's a popular prediction. Cannavaro takes a yellow card for Trafford. So 3 absolute key players there, Vieira, Rimmer and Cannavaro, yellow carded. And
It's all the big boys, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, look how well they're doing so far. Ewan are certainly taking the game to their opponents. Van Nistelrooy's missed a target and a red card for Rimmer. Oh,
Oh,
well,
he's going to be the butt of all jokes now, isn't he? I mean, it said it did look harsh, so hopefully we'll appeal it after and might get it rescinded. But it doesn't help Ewan tonight because they've started really well, haven't they, so far?
yeah, I mean, this can be done without a sub of moving Stam and Foster across Laurie into right back and playing 2 centre mids.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'd go for the minute because both Saviola and Blincorn have 7s up top, and you don't want to take away the goal threat. So yeah, I mean, at least get to half time on that and see how it affects it.
Yeah, and Mr. Shaw isn't in for this one.
Mr. Dimble's completely right. The refs ruined it, but can Ewan hold on?
He's Ewaned it. Yeah, that's probably what he's done there. A sticky situation for. Oh, and
Oh, could
Yapstam's
it get
gone
any
off injured.
worse?
Oh, this. I mean, is that John O'Kane time now?
I don't think there's ever a John O'Kane time, is there? But yeah, looking at the list they've got there, maybe John O'Kane is the the most talented of the bunch. Is
I mean,
that?
if he was here, then I'd be saying to Mr. Shaw, saying, "Go on, get Vieira in defence and just push him in there." But I'm not going to do that because he's not in his natural position there. So I mean, McCready is a centre back, but is he a centre back?
He's terrible, and he's only played. Yeah, Bankole would probably do better than McCready.
I think it's going to have to be John O'Kane. Yeah, I mean, it could be a lot worse, couldn't he? I mean, he could
Yeah,
be a lot
it
worse.
was
It could
all
be
right.
could be
He
Dean
was pretty good on
Saunders.
97, 98 as well, wasn't he? So maybe he can relive his glory days now.
Well, as if it wasn't already loaded enough for a Trafford victory tonight. We'll see what happens. Knowing that there are 10 men and without either of their centre backs, the worst
That was the
centre
worst
backs
centre back I've ever seen. Oh
Emerson
no! Oh
Scholes,
ref.
Chris McCready. Taking a look at Chris McCready showed just how bad he was. I'm going to check on the sub situation, and I don't believe there's anything for one team here. Half time, if leading, Nestor and Vieira off if booked. They're not. And 85% or under.
Well, it was interesting that Emerson goal just before half time because it's affected the ratings. There's 4 of them on an 8 now, whereas it's just Cannavaro at the 40-minute mark on an 8 for Trafford. But he has ruined the spectacle, hasn't it? As Dimble said, the ref with that harsh sending off. It's the last thing you need when you're facing the best squad in the game.
Yeah, the absolute best squad in here, and yeah, just 1-0. I mean, it's not bad, is it? When you take a look at how they're doing, they're doing okay to say now. The floodgates may well open the second half, though.
Yeah, I mean Foster and Shelton have gone down to a 5 since the sending off and the injury. But they were doing well up until that point, and that they kept it tight. So now I suppose it's a question of, do you sacrifice one up top and bulk the midfield out a little bit to get more of the ball, or do you try and keep the goal threat? Isn't it? That's a tough question.
15 minutes, I think, and do it from then.
Yeah, see how it goes for next 15. Yeah,
I mean, the
and go from
instruction
there.
is subs for condition as you see fit. Now, I think because they've already made 2 defensive subs, I wouldn't want to make the Foster change just yet, but he looks like he's going to have to come off.
Well, they've only made one sub as such, haven't they? They just moved things
Yeah,
about. But yeah,
yeah,
Foster does
but
look like he's
I mean,
taking up. But
the next choice is McCready.
I don't think he's a choice, is he? I mean, I'm sure you could shoehorn Salt in there somewhere.
Everyone can shoehorn Salt anyway. It fits very well, and yeah, for this team, they've done very little at the back apart from get a yellow card for Cannavaro, which has made him play better.
Well, he was on an 8, so he must have done something. Hasn't he? I mean, four headers. He's won his tackle. But yeah, they were hard pushed early on by you, and so we haven't seen the stats in terms of whether they've had too many shots against them. But I mean, they're starting to play better now, aren't they? When against 10 men, so it's the last thing you need against a team like this.
It's not really, not a huge domination. Looking at that.
No, but bear in mind the goal came in the last 8 minutes last 5 minutes of the first half, didn't it? When best defender Stam's gone off injured, and the other joint ability with Stam, Rimmer's taken one for the team, hasn't he? And,
He's doubled Imar. He's done him twice.
yeah, Mr. Fistham has really hurt Rimmer there with his harsh yellow card for the second one.
Is he the ref today, Fiston?
Yeah, it is.
Superb. I didn't realise he was refereeing. I didn't check that before kickoff as I usually would. So
He has
Emerson
shafted Rimmer.
set up by Van Nistelrooy. Yeah, look at that. I think we'll go to 60 minutes, and Foster is certainly an injury candidate at that point.
Yeah, they've just got to get the shots in now, haven't they? They've had one shot, one on target. Trafford have been fairly wasteful, but Trafford have come into it. Say they've got 4 of them on an 8, keeper and defender a 2, so they must have had something to do. So can you push them and get a goal in the harshest of circumstances?
No. I can't think. I'm not going to say that they're going to do it. If they do it, that would be absolutely miraculous. But I just can't see how Condor has come close to scoring. And we'll do the Trafford subs first, and we're about ready to do those. Van Nistelrooy scores just as the substitutes happen, and they have probably killed the game off. Condition is fine. Cannavaro is the only yellow card they've picked up, and so Daji.
What was your condition parameters?
This one is 85, so Imar will be coming off there.
Yeah, I thought that was the
He'll be
case.
the
Yeah,
only one.
it looks like he took a knock at half time. He was on 88 at 45 minutes.
So
I mean,
Imar
you
and
could bring up Buffon in
Cannavaro.
midfield, and they've won the game, haven't they? They've got another 10 men that are much stronger.
Imar and Cannavaro. I believe that Riquelme played last game, so Riquelme would come on as a natural sub here.
Yeah, well, it's rich choice, isn't it? Really, it's there's no McCready like types on this, so it's might as well just rest for the next game, haven't there? Really.
Yeah, and then Okoronkwo coming on Quo as we have a little look at that. And just checking when they're playing next, by the way, so every team is aware of when their next games are. They are a week away, unless there's anything bizarre.
There's not any
The
cup,
cup's
is there?
like
Cup's
about
all at the end of the
September,
month.
isn't it? I think it is. Control. Rudder is in the chat. He is here and he's ready. He's ready. He's primed. And for Ewan, yeah, Foster. It's gonna be Foster.
Yeah, he's back up to a 6, so at least he's redeemed himself a little bit, hasn't he? It's I suppose it's just, are there any other options other than McCready? Where does Milligan play?
Attacking mid, right, left, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
was just
he's
wondering if he could fill it at fullback, but probably not, because otherwise he'll have to put Laurie
yeah.
in, won't
I
they?
mean, do we move Vieira back? Do we?
Oh, I mean, McCready's in the squad. He's a defender, isn't he? I think you've got to keep Vieira in midfield, really. Otherwise, they're going to have more people attacking them, aren't they?
Well, if you're gonna have a game where you have to try out Chris McCready, this is the one. He's played 3 cup games. It's his league debut. He is awful. Positioning 2 is
His
wonderful.
highest stat is 12, which is pretty poor, isn't it? I think stamina and jumping were 2 of them.
He's got some. Oh, Critchley. I'm clicking on Critchley there. McCready. Yeah, 12. 3
And
12s.
acceleration. So it's nothing that's great, is it? I mean, you can get up to speed, jump, and do it for a while, but nothing that's useful.
So he could repeatedly do the high jump reasonably well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him get a 7 and maybe pop up with a shot at the other end.
Well, can they do anything? I don't think so. I really don't. I'd love to see it, but we're not going to see it, are we? And this is very, very comfortable for Trafford. 2-0, keeping themselves top of the table. Van Nistelrooy offside, disallowed goal, and then has another chance. Unless Tomadero had it in the end. Tomadero with the chance as well. He's not had the best game, Mr. Pretend Portuguese striker. He's not doing superbly well. Van Nistelrooy, Tomadero again getting involved. Down the other end, you and come. No, nothing from it. And then Tomadero does get his 10th of the season, moves himself up to an 8. Blinkhorn pulls one back for 3-1. And that's the prediction that a few people have made before this game, including yourself, Quinton. Can it stay 3? Because that would be 3 people getting a prediction correct. And it is. So well played.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm surprised that they got a goal. So fair play to you, and it's tough against that team as a starter. I mean, when you play the teams at the top where they're so full of the best players, you you're hoping for something rather than expecting to get a point, and to go down to 10 men under harsh circumstances, it's really difficult. But yeah, I mean, I don't think 1-3's a bad result at all under the circumstances. A couple of decent performances, and Trafford will be pleased to have got the win. But I mean, it's disappointing and wasteful that they've only had 11 out of 18 shots on target.
But 21 out of 26 in one game and 11 out of 18 in this one. The goals in the second half, obviously, one just before the subs. Emerson to Van Nistelrooy, so returning the favour on the first goal. Then we had Vitor Madeire's goal to make it 3-0. Schalke saves a shot from Patrick Vieira and he puts in the rebound. And then Khan's rebound after a Carl Lorry shot is pounced on by Blinkhorn for the goal. So Ewan, and there's no real standout performances. Even the ratings wise don't suggest anything. The stats don't suggest anything. Vieira doing Vieira things.
And Chris McCready getting a 7. So he was respectable off the bench. O'Kane got a 7, so they've done themselves proud. Shellstrom got back up to a 6. Yeah, I mean, Vieira's good for an 8 most of the time, isn't he? Blinkhorn's been in excellent form, although it's his 15th of the season. It's a little bit blinkered as such, isn't it? I mean, he scored a couple in the cup game before he got himself sent off. But yeah, decent performance from them all. They all look tired. It looks like they've been chasing the ball uh, for 50 odd minutes
It
after
does,
Rimmer
doesn't it?
sending off. But yeah, Trafford, when they've got a couple of players on a 10, couple on 8 as well, they've not been at the best other than the forward players, and it's just because they're coming up against a squad a lot weaker than theirs, and they've had the ref help them out to give them 10 men.
And there again, the really strange Nesta ratings at Cannavaro Yes, he might have been better in the air, but Leicester's won every tackle. He's not been booked. He's got 7. Cannavaro's been booked 1 out of 2 tackles. Might have been a key one, but he never seems to score as well as his defensive partner.
No, that's it. It's and Rob's right. He's got the first one right. The Swemp Super Six. I understand you're giving out a £10,000 prize if anyone can get all results correct. Is that right?
It's 10,000 intrinsic points that is being given out as a reward. So last time Falaraki played East Coast, it was 2-0 to East Coast with goals from Bonk and Montero. It's pretty about the summary of the two teams being that far apart in the league. They're not too far away in points anymore, just the 7. But yeah, I think that it's an East Coast game, isn't it? This one, no matter what the two managers may say, I think Dimble's playing down his chances this season of winning the league. I think he's right, but certainly finishing 3rd or 4th, really good chance. But yeah, Falaraki, change of formation.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm going to disagree with you. Even before I'd seen the formation, I'm going to disagree. I like both of these teams. I think they've got a good balance of players in there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they draw in this one. It's said that East Coast have been better in the league and are higher up there, but if you look at this squad that Falaraki have got, they've got some very good players in, and they could beat anyone on the day, even the teams nearer the top. Maybe not Trafford, but that attacking midfield 3, Ronaldinho, Joe Cole, and Dave Collins. I mean, that's an excellent attacking 3, isn't it? So yeah, I like the change of system we've got there. Interesting to see Soroczynski at centre back making that run into defensive mid. I think he'll be useful in there. So yeah, I like the system change. Dimble said Falaraki's squad's stronger, and it'd be interesting to see the comparison between the two because they've both got some very good players. But I like both teams and I think they've set it well. And I can't really call a win. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw, this one.
Yeah, and this is one of the strongest concept teams, isn't it? When you look at things, players born in the 80s is a strong concept. It's worked well, and it's been good to see this season. And
Very good idea, yeah. And it's given a good blend of players, hasn't it? I mean, you've got people like Maresca in there we don't see for other teams, and I like what they've done. And equally, you say for East Coast with their concept as well, it's another strong concept, and that's the thing I enjoy about the league, where people have got these concepts and they're playing really nicely.
Yeah, brave choice here from Dimble with his team, and 2 formations that will go up against each other in. I think they're probably quite evenly matched, aren't they? When you look at the extra players around this area for the defence of East Coast up against the sort of more attacking set for Falaraki.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's I don't know whether it's a conscious decision of the managers with the formation change in
With
mind.
both not knowing what the other team was playing.
Yeah, it's so it's one of those where you look at the squads and you think, yeah, I think they are evenly matched. It's a tough one, really. Salva's been in good form, hasn't he, for East Coast? And you look at that back 5 they've got and the keeper, and they're all strong. Boy is obviously one of the best players that there is around. He's always consistent. So yeah, I like both the team. I think they've both set up nicely, and it'll be intriguing to see who wins. And it's probably just who performs better on the day out of these two. It's so you can't really call it beforehand.
Well, you're going to have to call it with your predictions.
Well, yeah, I'd say 2-2. It's interesting to see what everyone else will think. It's whether everyone else is an East Coast like yourself, you've clearly gone for East Coast with yours.
With mine, I think East.
Oh,
Wow, East Coast
that,
with a lovely kit there. I might change my prediction. No, I mean I'm not one to actually call proper results in here or whatever. But yeah, I did say East Coast were the stronger side of the two. Would saying that East Coast will lose.
I think minus points based on that away kit because I do really like the purple, but that away kit's not the nicest green, is it? That's that
It,
might is that one just set? Was it
it
a
is a
red?
good
Yeah, Dimple
question
said.
whether this is your away kit or it's a third kit that's being needed here. So I will check that because I know that I did
I,
set whatever your
I
first
think if
two
the
were.
manager calls it disgusting, and yeah, it does look like an off Viennetta, then I don't think it can be a good choice, can it? If we're branding it disgusting.
And good evening to Ryan as well, who's arrived in the chat. Yeah, you've not missed your own team yet. Don't worry. You'll be playing later with Fortuna on the chat here,
Oh no,
Quinton.
that's fine. No, you've missed it. There's no point in making subs or anything. That's fine.
Right. Well, yeah, the one prediction we've had there is Rob saying 2-1 to East Coast. I mean, Dimble said Warriors win, and Wooder has said uh, East Coast to lose. So we shall see. But it's 0-0 so far. It's going to take some effort to beat the chat of the Super League earlier on. Great commentary from Ryan, who seemed to be two characters at once. Dimble needs people to know he did not pick the green, but he did pick Arkadiusz Bonk, and he has opened the scoring. So well done there. But Saviola gets an equaliser and a red card. Two red
Oh, is
cards.
that a fight? I
I
didn't see what had
believe
happened
they've
there, but
gone
that
for
just
each other, and is that Bonk and Gerard?
Bonk and David Collins, I
Bonk
think.
and Collins. Oh, I thought I saw Gerard's name, but you might be right. So yeah, starting off with Dimble, who's here now. I mean, are you going to make any changes here? You're going to drop Esther Berea back to play behind Salva?
We've got
Push
to
up
keep the two
something?
wide men, haven't we? Just for the rules,
Yeah,
just for
let's keep
clarity.
it two wide. Two. Yeah, you won't find anyone playing two people. Won't see Koichi box. Will you? Yes, I won't find them. And yeah, it's and Quinton's doing all his impressions tonight. Slip
I'm
one
not
in.
even real, am I? You're just doing an impression of me. That's the thing.
I assume you. Esteberia did. Yeah, there was an arrow on your attacking mid. Do you want to keep the arrow, or do you want to drop your arrow?
Slip one in behind. It's a good job of Rimmer and Fistum out in this
Is
game,
that
isn't it?
is that slip Armand one in behind Esteberia? You want to bring in the Cambridge striker? Is that right?
So Estebury in behind. Yeah, keep arrow. Yeah, happy.
And to Champino, he's here, but he can't go on his YouTube account. So I'll just send him a message saying, "Tell me what to do," and I'll go on to his team. That's my plan. So here we are. Keep the arrow. Lovely. Right. And there was a red card for it was David Collins. It was David Collins. Now,
It's like a little star, isn't it? That East Coast formation. Now it's looks nice.
my assumption is that Joe Cole would just slide across, but
Yeah, that's what I do. Makes
Champino's
sense, doesn't it?
live DM on Twitter here. I'm waiting for you. I'm not quite sure that's what he was banned from YouTube for.
That can't be true, can it? Because otherwise you wouldn't be in the commentary box.
Yeah, me. So yeah, that's a yes. I think the yes is unless that's what he's saying about the. I left Darwin again. There we are. Good. Tato is here, fresh from a
Good
point.
evening.
Move call, put arrow on. There we go. Lovely. Fresh from a point for Asta earlier on in the Super League as well. So let's get going with this game. See where we can get to. It's 2-1 and Esteberia moving back into midfield has put them back in front. This has been quite the start to this game. Half an hour gone, 3 goals, 2 reds. We want to see what they were doing to each other. Were there any rogue
They might be
fingers
banned
being
from
used?
YouTube, might they?
It could be anything. Is that penalty turned down as well?
Yeah, it was.
Quite an entertaining half. And the players will be glad of a bit of a rest, maybe. Oh, Falaraki getting the ascendancy towards the end of the half. But it is 2-1 at half time. And
Right, first things first. Let's get to the match report. Let's see what happened with
find out
those
what
two.
happened. So we had the early goal that Davids played the ball in and bonked it in with his head. And then Saviola from there.
Come on,
Ronaldinho to
referee.
Saviola.
That's handbags, isn't it?
Oh, pushing each other. Yeah. We've seen worse. We have seen worse.
I've seen somebody headbutt him and not get a booking.
Esteberia skimming one in hard. That's what they all like there as well. We'll take a quick look at the match stats very quickly. Just one shot for Falaraki, 3 shots for East Coast, and now on to the other team. So Falaraki, because the messages might take a little bit of time to come through on there. So yeah, tell us about Falaraki then, Quinton.
Yeah, I mean, Ronaldinho's been at his sort of jumping best, and he's got four attempts ahead. There's only won one, but he's still managed an 8. He's been quite influential. Other than that, they're not really performing at the best. Collins has got to be. I mean, I was going to say kicking himself, but probably pushing himself, won't it? The performance he's put in. Saviola's got a goal, but not playing particularly well, and the rest of the team aren't doing a lot. Robin's been the man tackling the most, which you wouldn't really associate with Iron Robin, would you?
No, I don't think you would at all. And while Champasaurus decides whether he's going to make any subs or not, we'll send it over to Dimble, who Edgar Davids is currently with a poorly foot, and Paulo Montero, who went off injured last time in this game, also has a poorly foot. They'll be kicking themselves at what they've got. Yeah, but I mean,
That's how they got the injuries, isn't it? It's
John Terry and Lee Bowyer winning plenty of tackles.
Yeah, Terry's on a booking though, isn't he? So if he keeps that sort of gusto in the second half, it's he's got to walk the disciplinary tightrope, particularly both teams having 10 men. Boy, I'm surprised he only got a 7 really, because he's getting involved a lot, isn't he? And doing fairly well. But yes, Salva, Estebaria both only on 7s, but Estebaria 2 shots, 2 on target and a goal, so that's probably a little bit harsh on him. But yeah, looking at the ratings, they are performing ever slightly better, deserve to be in front at this point, and be interesting to see how the second half turns out with a bit more space on the pitch, isn't there, with 10 men each.
Plenty of space, and both teams going to keep it as it is. And we'll get going to 60 minutes. We've had plenty of entertaining here. Plenty of entertaining. I'm speaking some great words today. There's another yellow card being given up there. Robin's taken a card, if it was in the first half or second half. And we'll go to Champino now. I know he's got planned subs, but I'm obviously giving him a chance to do what he wants to do. Yeah, condition-wise, they're okay, aren't they? And I'll see what his original plan was going to be. If someone hasn't scored, then to make a sub.
Was it David Collins?
It wasn't David Collins, actually. It was. I think this match still got yes. So Sigalko for Saviola is still happening here, and there was plans for if losing. So Keane for Cole, and is that it? I'll make those 2, and if you want to make another one, tell me. And for East Dimbleshire, their conditions.
We've got mention of Mash and Bodger down the side here. I'm just confused.
That is fine from Champino. Montero 83, David 79. Back to match ratings here, and we shall take a look and see what Dimble is up for doing.
I think it's got to be Duncan Ferguson to put the game to bed, isn't it? If ever a violent match on the pitch, you want Big Dunk on to sort them out, don't you? But yeah, you're probably looking at changing Davids, aren't you, at this point, and maybe even Montero. But interesting to see what he does here.
Roy Keane and Martin Keown. Martin Keown with his run to striker. Barijo for Salva.
Was it Keown who got a couple of goals for these earlier in the season?
Yeah, he scored one. Is it 2 in a game?
I think he got 2 in a game off the bench, didn't he? Is that right?
I think
Have
so.
a look at him, see what his goal scoring stats are.
Keane for Davids and swap sides. And Keown.
He's on the bench.
He's on the bench, yeah. Yeah, 2. I think they were both for the game.
Yeah, right.
And I'd assume it's 2. So if you do want to, I don't want to get your subs wrong, Dimble, Ryan, but we'll see how that goes. I think it is just a 2. Let's go into the rest.
There's been a slight change in ratings now, aren't there? They're a lot more even. It's just 1-8 on both teams. David's obviously going off for East Coast, but Falaraki seem to be coming back into it, and they're normally pretty good after Sigalko comes on. So yeah, play ball.
Play ball. I remember that on Super Sunday. Richard Keys introducing that. Was it just basically where was like a spot the ball competition?
Oh, that's not what Richard Keys used to play with the ladies in the studio.
He used to play Smash, game of Smash. Oh, yellow card. Oh, and Barrijo has gone with 2 yellows in quick succession. Lovely. 9 against 10. I don't think we quite expected this sort of performance. I know
Is
Roy.
it bravery 20 these have got, or is it stupidity? Some of the players, it's
I know Roy Keane is a better centre mid than defensive mid, so you could move forward and they could have something going on there. I don't know. Or do they want to say no striker and hold out a lead? Who knows? But yeah,
unbelievable, this, isn't it? But I suppose we should point out. I think
keep it.
Rob's on with a 2-1 at the minute, isn't he? So he could be on for his 10,000 on the Super Six.
Yeah, we need another goal to stop Messi. We don't want to get his intrinsic points. And we're looking for a goal. Ronaldinho. It's 2-2.
Well, hopefully he called it on red cards.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that was it. Is there going to be a late goal for either team? Something looked harsh. I don't know, but we're so close to the end, and there we are, 2-2. They've certainly got a little closer than they were early in the season, with 3 red cards. I mean, that certainly skewed the match. Ronaldinho, man of the match. Stat-wise, pretty good, pretty good. And let's take a look at the report for the goals. Where was that red card? So Barrijo was booked and then was furious with the ref. It's completely stupid. And then Invertonian couldn't hold Sigalko's shot and Ronaldinho scored. So Falaraki, I mean, Robin put in plenty of tackles.
Yeah, he did, and he's even after his yellow card, didn't he? I mean, it would have been nice if somebody did predict a 2-2 for this one, wouldn't it? To be on from two so far. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about, but the rest of them would be completely off the mark. But yeah, Ronaldinho was performing well all game, wasn't he? Did a little less jumping in the second half with a 50% success rate second half wise, but he's down at 73, so it'll be interesting to see if he's fit enough for the next game. Hopefully, with it being in a week's time. But they did get better as the game wore on. Gerrard with an 8, a few more 7s on there, and I think, to be honest, looking at the stats and seeing the balance of play, they probably deserve a draw. East have got to be disappointed with the 2 red cards, and likewise Falaraki will be having words with David Collins, I'm sure. I think he probably wanted to get off to a party early on. Not the best performance from either team, but probably a fair result in the balance of play.
Yeah, a prediction of how many players would be left at 2-1 would be quite the match, wouldn't it? And Terry, did he put in a single successful tackle in the second half, or was it just the one?
I think he put in 1 tackle, and I don't know if it was successful. I think he was on 9-7 at half time. But yeah, again, all right performances. Davids did well, but unfortunately picked up his foot injury, hadn't he? And then a few 7s in there. Annoying as Dimble said. Really, it did look fairly comfortable until that red card from Barrijo. Really, then Falaraki hadn't really done too much attacking wise in the second half. But I suppose equally that they brought Sigalko off the bench to change that. He's had a shot that's been palmed out. So it's one of them that's disappointing. Particularly if you look at the shot count, I think it's 3 and 4 shots on target from both teams, and both teams have scored 2. So keepers haven't been at the best. Everyone else haven't been at the best, and probably a fair result on the balance of play, but it's the disciplinary stuff that's going to be causing issues, because obviously we've got 3 suspensions for the coming games.
Oh, indeed. We are going to speed it up a little bit because we're about just over 20 minutes. Well, there was a big introduction because you weren't here. Of course, it is going on onto your game now. I'm happy to play that on there if you're happy for it now.
Yeah, I'm happy, but I mean, I'm just looking at Dimble's comment there. He brought Barrijo on because he wanted the calm ahead than Big Doug.
So last
yeah,
match,
Dunk would have gone off in 7 minutes. Never mind 14.
Last match Phoenix played, they were up against Allenwell, and it was 1-0. A very much depleted Allenwell side. Last time they played your team, though, they beat them 4-1. It was pretty confident.
And David Day got a 3.
A 3, yeah, substitute. That's quite rare, isn't it, for him? 2 for Batistuta, Rui Costa, who was the own goal?
Jürgen Kohler. So,
Yeah.
but my two best defensive players had a nightmare that game. An own goal yellow card for Kohler and a 3 for David Day. Phoenix are a lot better team than me, so I'm hoping to just do a better performance tonight rather than a 4-1. I mean, only a 1-0 against, like you say, depleted the Lunwell team, but Lunwell are again a good team, so it's not a bad result at all that to beat them. And looking at the way they line up, it's it's a much stronger lineup than my team. So
Yeah, I'm just
we've
checking.
got to be
Ryan
at
said
our best.
unchanged. I think he said it was happy to go same again. Yes. Good night,
Oh,
Mr.
night,
Dimble.
Dimble.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming to join for your team. Up Mingos. Yeah, they're playing again later on, of course. Yeah. Yeah, it's unchanged side for Ryan, but why change a winning formula?
No, well, that's it, isn't it? It's good line, plenty of quality players. We just need to catch him on an off day, really. So hopefully, Batistuta not at his best, like he scored 2 last time. And hopefully we're on top form and we're not getting a 3 in goal and scoring one of the goals for them. But yeah, looking at the teams, they're a lot better team than we are. So we've just got to be at our best. It's a good lineup. There's plenty of options off the bench as well if things aren't working.
Indeed, yeah. Rob saying if you click live, it brings you back to the live coverage. I don't think I've ever tried that. I think all I ever do is just hammer the skip 10 seconds button until I get caught up. I think it's what I tend to do. So, yeah, it's probably just an obvious thing that I've never done before either. For your team, you've
Slight
last
change
time.
there. Yeah, it's 2-2 was. I mean, again, it was a harsh result on the East Coast at the 2-2 draw. I think we got a late equaliser. There's a lot of action after the substitutes, wasn't there? But
Hmm.
I'm missing not Said this one. Iltz got suspended, didn't he? So Warner's coming to defensive mid, which I don't think he's had a run out defensive mid at all. He's played in the cup, but I don't think he was in the defensive mid position. He maybe one of his substitute appearances come on for there for replacing Iltz. So interesting to see how he gets on because I've not really played him before.
But you picked that based on Said not performing very well in defensive mid this season.
Yeah, it's been absolutely terrible for Saeed, which is different. And then I've had a slight change in the forward positions because Nicky Franco's been playing up front and Collins in attacking mid. I've just switched him around see if it makes any difference. But yeah, Bonk's come into a bit of form recently, although not scoring goals. So we'll see how they get on. I need them to beat the very best. I need Kenny to have a good game in midfield today, and the wide players to do the defensive work as well.
And Lunt having a quality season, but not the best match last time, if I remember.
That's right. Yeah, he didn't really get involved too much. So see how we go on this time.
Predictions.
I wouldn't like to predict this one, but I'm going to just say Phoenix win. If I'm pushed, I'm going to say 3-1 Phoenix.
3-1 Phoenix. Now, I noticed my concurrent viewers 13. It's like some sort of record. It's how many devices have you got plugged into this one?
7.
Yeah, that would make sense. That's good. Yeah, and I've got the other 6. And the rest of these people are just me typing in different people's names. That's it. Well, let's kick off this one.
No other predictions.
No, I think people are a bit scared of predicting. Just think, I mean, Rob hasn't made his prediction at the moment. He'll predict at the end. See what happens. It's still 0-0. There's been chances for both teams. Collins has just missed for Fortuna. Bonk, Lunt both getting involved. Montero's taking a card for Phoenix. It's gone quiet for a part of this match, and now it's looking the other way around. I predict a riot from Rob. Nicky Franco's taking a yellow card. Collins has had a chance, another save from Oliver Kahn. 10 minutes off half time. No team really going for it. Vance Warner, the best player on the pitch at the moment. Castillo coming forward as well for Fortuna. It's been much more Fortuna at this point than their opponents against the league run of play. But half time, just a quick scan of this before we go to the Phoenix team. And Phoenix have had a shot on target.
Yeah, it's kind of pleasing in a way that we're playing well, but also we should have scored because Phoenix aren't going to play this badly all game. I don't think. Paolo Maldini's got to come off.
Yeah, I would say
He'll be pulled off injured this start of the second half, if not. But yeah, we've played fairly well, just been a little bit wasteful in front of goal, and it would have been nice to go in front to see how the second half goes. But I can't see Phoenix performing like this for the 90 minutes. So disappointing we're not in front, but decent half.
Ryan, do you want Lizarazu or Torricelli at this point? If you've gone from the chat or anything, Lizarazu's made nice starts on one sub appearance. Torricelli is much more seldomly used. I'd say Lizarazu.
Has Cafu got a knock as well? Not as bad,
most likely, yeah. But it's less is more. The mantra of Ryan as he plays out the season and plays out the season in very good form. We'll give him a little bit of time just to make that decision. And we got onto this one. 25. The tablet was 25 game time minutes ahead. Yeah, and now everything's live and all good. Brilliant. For yourself, Quinton, keeping it as it is.
Yeah, I think so. We've been all right. No one's too bad. I mean, yeah, Warner's been very good. So I've not really used him at all. To be honest, I've had him. I bought him. I picked him up on a free a couple of times, but not really played him at all. He's just been sort of someone who sticks on the bench. So yeah, it's good to see him playing well. Nicky Franco's probably going to get hooked on 60 minutes if he don't improve.
I think we'll do Lizarazu here. I think Ryan may well have succumbed to his wine.
Yeah, I know I'm the opposition manager, but I think Lizarazu makes sense, particularly in light of if Cafu's not gets any worse, Torricelli will need to come on the other side anyway, won't he? That's what I was thinking behind that.
He's played a lot more games. I'd always pick the one who's been playing more regularly at this point. So to 60 minutes we go. And Phoenix have opened the scoring with Batistuta, and you were saying that you were kicking yourself at not scoring the goals there. Zidane's had a chance as well. Fortuna back down the other end of the pitch with an attack again, but a yellow card there coming up for Robert Sandratana, was it? Yep. And Phoenix playing pretty well considering their first half. They're going to be less is more means they won't be making any subs at this point. And if Ryan isn't here, they will stick with that. Remind you said 1-0. He did say 1-0. What was that after the first goal? 93 minutes, you said that? And for yourself, Quinton, you've got some decisions to make there.
Yeah, if we go to tactics, I'm going to make some changes yet. I can see it a little bit better on this one. If we go to conditions, let's just have a look at that. Yeah, let's have a look at Kenny, see how he's doing, and Bonk. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Right. Kenny's going to swap with Nicky Franco. And then I'll swap Kenny with Dunwell.
There's Rob's. I'm just looking at Rob's thing. So Kenny offered Dunwell.
Yeah, Rob did predict it earlier.
He did indeed. Just like
what else are we going to do here? Collins to swap with Bonk, and then I'm going to take Bonk off for Estevez. And I'm going for all three. And then Rabah Sandratana to swap with Anatalakis, and then swap him and Said.
Big run for striker.
No, let's leave it as is. I did think about it, but no, let's leave it as is.
So, 3 subs made for one team, 1 made at half time for the other. Yellow card for Vance Warner for Fortuna, and it's Batistuta on the attack again. Couple of chances. Another shot of Day playing fairly well in goal. Estevez has equalised. 20 minutes to go. The substitute Raul Estevez makes it 1-1. Did you say 1-0, Rob? I'm not sure. Dunwell coming close to putting them in front. Just a few minutes left. And this is quite the outcome if they can keep it going. Great save in the end. Rui Costa ball in, but 1-1. A very good result for Fortuna.
Yeah, really pleased with the result. Let's say it played out as expected just after half time, didn't it? With the 2 minutes into the second half, their first shot on target and a goal for Batistuta. But looking at it after the subs, they got an 8. Kohler and Said up to an 8. Warner had played well all game, so yeah, real pleased with that result. And we took it to Phoenix. I don't know if the stats were similar in the second half. They certainly had a lot more chances, didn't they? But pleased that Phoenix will be disappointed because they come up against a team lower in the table, but they didn't play too badly, to be fair, particularly that second half. They were, look at that, five shots on target, a lot better performance second half. So they could probably be a bit aggrieved they didn't win, but equally, it's that they'll be sort of if they played like that for the 90 minutes, they would have won. So it's probably a fair result to get a draw. Obviously, I'm
Yeah,
delighted
plenty
with the
of
result,
attacks,
and
plenty of attacks. I think Rob saying there, did you say it wouldn't be a long show tonight? I think I might have said won't be long, as in it's starting soon. But I might have said it won't be long personally as well. Who knows? Half volley from Batistuta, and then the equaliser from Estevez. He's taken on Turam and put it into the box and scored a decent goal, put it past Oliver Kahn. Very nice. Montero, not at his usual best, but he did last out the game. Cafu survives. The team had to work for it. Phoenix, even though they were in front for a while, they had to work for that draw.
yeah, much better second half from him. Khan's obviously been worked a lot with it with an 8 on the Rui Costa man of the match, and Desai played well. So yeah, Liz Razou with his 4 key passes off the bench. To be fair, it looks an even better result looking at the stats of them players because they've got involved, haven't they? No one's let their team down. So just a good result from our team. And say if we were a little bit better in the first half rather than wasteful, it could have been better. But pleased with the contribution of the sub. We've got an assist and a goal from those two, and Estevez has been out of form, so hopefully that'll kick him on a bit. Warner's done well, so he'll come into contention. Eric's not been at his best today, so maybe he'll have to drop out for a little while, and hopefully the other guys aren't injured for later. But yeah, good result. Pleased with it, and I mean, the thing that I was most pleased about, I've still got a positive goal difference at this stage for now, and I thought this game might threaten it, but luckily that's another one down.
Another one down. And only 7 games to go at the end of this one. So, we've got 2 managers who are certainly, and they've both been in the chat during the last game, so brilliant. We are still missing Wolfie.
It depends if David's up to speed, doesn't it? It's let's hope he is.
Yeah, David, which you need to go to the tablet and make sure you're watching through that one. But yeah, and still no Wolfie. We do hope he's back
Yeah,
soon.
hopefully so. Hopefully he can listen into him anyway. If not, but I suppose if he's not about on Twitter, he won't get the links, will he? So maybe he's subscribed to your YouTube channel and sees this anyway. But it'd be good to see him back. And
Yeah, or at least let us know
although
you're
it's
okay.
nice to have David
Yeah,
coming in between.
indeed. Yeah, he's very. I did prime him last week and said if we don't have Wolfie around, then will you come and take on that? He is ready. He is primed. He's gone for a different formation today, one that certainly puts a bit more defence into it.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? We've seen Wolfie go for the 2 wide men up top. I mean, he must have made a mistake, David. I think in his lineup because there's no Fortes anywhere. I'm
But
not
he has
sure
put
why
him
he's
on the
there.
bench. He has got him. He's got him on the bench at least, and that's certainly he's earned his place. He has earned his place in the team, or on the
Yeah, I
bench.
mean, I like the concept of the Wolves team. They're a good line, part of the mixed bag of people, and it'd be interesting to see how David gets on. I mean, from a selfish point of view, hopefully they don't get a point tonight because I think I'll go above him in the table. But yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see him do well on his debut. But they're coming up against a difficult team in Alumwell. It's David Collins in centre mid is probably the question mark, isn't it, as to whether it's a bit more attacking into attacking mid because he's got no arrow on there. But I'm sure he can do a job, and it'll be interesting to see how David gets these performing because it's hard picking up a team that's not your own. I'm sure he's probably had a test or two at this, and good luck to him and see how they get on.
And Rob benching Fortes, he'll never get up. You're probably right there. But yeah, when you mentioned a difficult team in Allenwell, I think probably what you say is it was difficult to pick a team for Allenwell this game. Look at the absolute crisis there that's going on. We've got what have we got there? 6 injuries in the suspension. which has meant that every single member of the squad who is available is in the team today.
Yeah, that's horrific. You got to feel for Lunwell with that kind of thing, because I mean the good news is they've still got some good players. They've picked a good squad, haven't they? There's again, it's one of those concepts that's really good to see where there's a mixed bag of players in. It's not all your star men in there, but if you look at that
Some
lineup,
household
we've got this.
heroes.
Yeah, well, that's it. And they've got the two wingers there, Petra Masudia Kikanga. They'll be interesting because again, we don't see them for others, do we? So yeah, thank God the COVID test came back okay. But yeah, Langley in midfield, he's a bit of a dark horse sometime, isn't he? So I might back Langley for a goal in this one today with the way they've set up. He's not got too many, has he, this season? But
6.8 in both
yeah, quite
competitions.
fancy for one. He got a 5 last time, so he's got to step up to the plate. But yeah, good squad. It's sort of a lineup to how Wolf used to do his lineup for Wolves. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how David's new formation plays against this. But yeah, I say like both of these teams. I'm gonna go for Alan Well for a 2-1 victory. But only for personal reasons, in the fact I think I go above Wolves in the table. Good luck to David on his first one, but you've got to feel for a Lunwell with the players missing, so it'd be nice to see them get a win.
Yeah, good. Both teams looking interesting for this one. I'm looking forward to this game. I've been when the fixtures were shown last time out. I thought this is going to be it. This is a local derby as well. This is not far away. These two teams. So predictions in the chat. All the best, David. Yep. Cheers, Rob. That's a great gesture there as well. Wonderful. It's gusty weather, 34 degrees. 34
Wow,
degrees in Norway.
in the wind. Where's the wind coming from?
Probably from Gears Argahol. I think it's
Oh, that
going.
is Hurling.
Yeah, Olga. Yep. Oh, lovely camaraderie there in the chat. No one else going for a prediction, or are
We'll
they?
have a couple of reds early on in this one after that niceties in the chat.
Quite the wind, isn't it? Quite the wind.
It's maybe coming from one of the Icelandic volcanoes, hasn't it? That's supposedly what it is.
And we are looking at so far Wanderers of Wolverhampton attacking a little bit more, and then nothing. And nothing. And then Arlenwell looking a little bit more lively than they did at the beginning because we never saw them at all. We've got
Identical ratings for both teams. Not anymore.
yeah, one's dropped to a 5 there, Rustico. It is still 0-0, half hour into the game. And a chance. Nope, not going anything. Darren Anderton's still on the pitch. It's good news for him. There is a 5 for both teams now. And we're almost at half time. And yeah, we got to half time. It's 0-0. And it wasn't particularly entertaining. If it was an animal, it would be some form of damp squid, which of course is not what's said, despite the fact that Brazil thinks it is. So for Wolves here, David, in terms of your subs, you can change personnel. You can also change positions. Just to let you know, that's what you can happen there.
Is Anderton just tired, or is he picked up an
I reckon
injury?
he's injured. Yeah, he's got a shinjury. So just let us know if you do want to make any subs or not at this point.
It's a bit harsh on Hierro, that isn't it? A 5
Yeah,
because
it
he's.
wasn't that bad, was it? We'll take a look at Rob's team for a bit, and then we'll go back to David's and have a little look at it. Yeah, I mean, all Rob's team thankfully look fit for.
Well, all Rob's team on the pitch.
Yes, yeah. It's not too bad, is it? What's going on for them? It's Gary Neville's managed to be successful in the tackle. He's got children, hasn't he? And yeah, I mean, it's not much passing going on. Petter's been quiet. Zari's been quiet. They are all still standing. They've been listening to Elton John.
Kamuna's playing well, isn't he? With all his passing completed, all his headers won. One out of his 2 tackles, so he's probably the standout performer so far the first half. Doesn't look like they've had an awful lot of the ball for anyone other than the defensive region, though, does it? As it stands at the minute, and that's something that they'll have to change. But like I say, it's one of those where people are still standing at the minute. They've kept in the game with Wolves being slightly on top. It looks like from the commentary down the bottom. So yeah, we'll see if this change for David makes any difference.
So Davies out wide, and Scally to come on for around a turn, and that will be it. Yeah, Roy Keane into his best position at centre mid.
That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, interesting change. I think that'll keep us at similar sort of strength, won't it? Really to that one. But it's anyone's game. Anyone can win it. Let's say these Wolves are having the better of the play. We can see the midfield boys, Collins, Davis. They've had more of the ball, haven't they? And that's and Keane as well. Whereas Alumwell haven't had too much to play with. So I say it does look like Wolves have been on top, but anyone could still win this. It was interestingly poised.
And how quiet has Robin been? There on his 3 out of 8 passes, and very little else going on so far. It's going to be Rob. I think he's probably going to stay till he's not one for a half time sub usually, is he at all? I
No,
think we'd have
and,
known
and
by now.
like I said, to be some achievement all still standing, I think that's probably I'd keep going at this point, yeah, and see how we go on. How's the match stats looking?
Oh yeah, check that one. Nothing for Alan. We did notice there were no shots actually, but I did, but I didn't say anything, and there we have proof.
Yeah, that sort of tells a tale, doesn't it? But
Oh, you're frozen. Let's hope you come back.
the best is yet to come, and David, that's been encouraging. They just need to be less wasteful, don't they?
Less, well, yeah. Wolves are going to be less wasteful, and Alan will have to at least get shots in to be wasteful. Play on Frere. Love a bit of mixed languages going on there. Wunderbar. It is 10 minutes till substitute time. It'll probably do some teams a bit of good. Keane puts one just wide for the Wanderers, and substitutes are on their way. Keane has now been booked, and here is the Wanderers side, which, yeah, I mean, there's no injuries to speak of. An 86 being the worst condition, the worst performances come from anyone between positions 2 and 8 there in that one. And
I've just realised that Wolves made a sub at half time. I don't know how often that's been done, other than taking Forte shot. I mean,
oh yeah, because
Forte's
Wolfie usually
because
just lets his
Wolfie
players
liked to run
by.
his
Yeah.
team into the ground, didn't he? So yeah, interesting to see David's that they're playing a little better for it, and Alumwell have come into a little bit more with a few better ratings other than Zauri.
Zari, who's done his groining and playing extremely badly and on a yellow card. Chris Marsh. What can happen at this point? Who knows? Position wise, I mean, everyone seems fairly fit. Kamuna is all right, and Matt Trittins wise, I mean, they're doing okay, aren't they? So if I'll await the substitutes coming from anyone. If you don't want to make any changes, just give me a shout of none. And otherwise, I mean, there probably will be changes. I can imagine Zari would be one.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't take Zauri off with a booking of 5 and a groin injury, then
You don't make subs.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's not really necessarily a ready-made replacement. Keats is a left-sided defensive mid, isn't he? So he could potentially go in there.
It's Chris Marsh.
Yeah, well, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I shouldn't leave him out, should I? There was a subtle hint from you before. Obviously, Forte's on the bench for Wolves. I mean, he'll be stiff when he's hopefully he's been warming up since the first minute to be ready. But yeah, interestingly poised still. We've got a few more 7s on the pitch, 4 for each team. Both still not showing the best. So we've seen action after the subs before, haven't we?
Keats on for Zari.
Good decision, I think that. Good decision.
I mean, would you stick with that? Would you go Saeed to the back, Rustico left, and Keats defensive mid, or
I'd
just keep
keep
Keats at the
exactly that.
back?
Yeah, exactly that.
And David, in terms of substitutes, just he was very methodical in his decision before, so it might take a little bit more time, or it might be.
Oh, we got more from Rob. Look.
Oh yeah, can we move him and Neville forward into wing back and Saeed into the back 3? Yes, of course, yeah. Yeah,
I
just
think the arrow forward is clearly
how
to the
far
striker,
forward?
isn't it? Not
Yeah.
just the little one.
And do you want arrows on your wing backs? Is the question as well. Yeah, I think they were arrows before, so I'm going to put them on and be told to take them off if he wants to take them off because there were arrows on the full backs. Yeah, that
Hopefully,
looks.
David's still watching in real time. Is he? Is
He's, this is how it's looking there. Maybe he got bored of my commentary. I'll see mine out. Roll with the punches. There we go. Yeah.
that's in true Wolfie style, isn't it? It's
let them all burn. So the subs have been made for. Well, one sub has been made. Keats has taken a yellow card already. He's copying Zauri.
it's
He thought
copying
he managed to
Barijo, isn't he?
do his groin in. No, he survived more time after Barijo's card. 10 minutes to go. This has been not particularly interesting, but intriguing all the same. Headshot Sevi and Robin scores a late goal after a quiet performance and scores the only goal of the game late on. And an injury hit Allenwell could not hold out. They had a shot at least, but David sees his team out, rolls with the punches to a 1-0 win.
Yeah, it's a sickener for a Lumwell when the goal comes there, isn't it? But you've got to say probably on the balance of play there that Wolves probably deserve for their attacking intent. It's really difficult, isn't it, to manage a team where you've got to have two sub keepers on the bench because you're missing everyone from injury. And they were performing okay. It's just Wolves, like I say, Robin had been pretty poor first half, and he's ended up being the match winner late on. So it just shows you how anything could happen in this game. So commiserations to Robin and Lumwell. But yeah, well played, David, on your first game as manager for Wolves, and it's an excellent result, really. Clean sheet, a 1-0 win against a really good team. So yeah, it's real pleased with that one.
Yeah, it's not really a team that keeps clean sheets, is it, Wolves? And something's worked there with that 4-1, 4-1. Simon Davies winning headers, didn't win any tackles, didn't put any tackles in. He had a solid enough match. Roy Keane was useful enough. This is what they need to do.
Yeah, solid shift from everyone. Really, they're all putting plenty of tackles in, weren't they? That's the thing. And like you say, yeah, Davies no tackles, but plenty of headers. So he's obviously the one who they look to make the jumps, isn't he? But yeah, everyone else putting a shift in. Robin got better. I mean, his passing was absolutely diabolical.
Oh, yeah.
And tackling and heading wasn't so good either. But he's got the goal. He's got an 8. So he must have done something right going forward. And Lumwell, on the other hand, a few of them dropped to 5s, didn't they? By the end, a couple more dropping to 5s. But it is difficult when you're missing so many players, and they've given it a good shot, but they've probably just run out a bit of steam because they've had a lot of ground to cover, haven't they, in training this week with everyone else not being fit.
Yeah, we'll have to see when those players are back. It would be certainly useful for the team to recover to a real set of players again. Hools versus Badgers, black on black. Is Badgers away kit blue and red, or is it? No, I can't remember what it is actually. Hools is red and blue, isn't it? But yeah, Hools versus Badgers.
Let's just see, shall we? That's probably easier.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Last time they played each other, it was a 2-all draw, and it was 2-1 at half time to the Badgers.
I don't like that Hulls away kit. It's
Norway. It's Norway.
yeah, but it's hard to read, isn't it?
Yeah, it was
Hard
actually
to
quite
read on
hard to
here.
read. Badgers going unchanged.
Yeah, well, they've been in good form, haven't they, recently, the Badgers? So yeah, it's. I mean, again, looking at the lineup, there's quality all over there, isn't there, in terms of the performances that they've played. So yeah, in good form. No reason to change things up, and be interesting to see if they can give Hulls a good game here, because again, Hulls on the balance of ability and things are a lot better than Badgers, but Badgers' performances are usually pretty good. So interesting matchup between the two, and will it be another draw this time?
And Talon Martin scored against Tools last time for Flamingos, so the defence isn't infallible, is it?
No, that's it. There's always a possible chance against these because Lucio, Mourinho, they're good defenders, but they're not as solid as some. And Dede and Cafu obviously excellent going forward. So they will have a couple of shots against them most of the time. But going forward to an excellent team again, it's a real strong concept, like you've mentioned earlier. So yeah, again, big fan of both the teams. I think they've set up really nicely. Had a decent season, both of them as well. So tough one to call. I think just based on ability, I'm going to go with Hulls. I think maybe 2-1 this time, but I think it'll be a real close game. Maybe a late winner in this one too.
And prediction for the kit?
I don't really care about it to be quite honest. Maybe yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue. Oh, you know, I'd hate that. Fifey. Fifey would hate that. And he's got a game later on tonight, of course. So it's blue and red. You've got blue and reddish. Yeah, is it red? I don't know. Silent referee in this one, and I think there's goals in it again. There's goals in this game, surely.
That's cursed it.
And it's kicked off. It's already 0-0, which is a great scoreline to have at the beginning of the match. 10 minutes in, and a chance there in Yavin has opened the scoring for the Badgers. Less than 15 minutes in, and they're coming close to scoring again. Collins at the chance, skimming off the water. I mean, they should be playing on grass, but it's 25 minutes into the game, still 1-0. Hull's trying to get back in, but it's more likely to be Badgers scoring again. They've had chances and more chances, but just unable to get one of them into the net. A yellow card there for Scally. A few minutes before half time, and Hull's getting back into this. It's a chance. Oh, Priest making a good save. Down the other end, maybe, but no, it's. It seems like a really long 5 minutes of football, and it isn't quite half time yet. Saved by Priest again. He's had a good first half. It is half time, and a lot happened there.
Yeah, it did. And looking at the ratings, Badgers have deserved to be in front, just haven't they? But Hull's out of it yet. Cafu's doing all right. Ronaldinho's doing all right. But yeah, all the Badgers on a 7 or an 8 pretty much, other than Walker. So the captain's not leading by example in this one. But yeah, looking at the balance of play, it did seem as though Badgers had the more shots. I don't know if that's reflected in the stats, but there certainly seems to be more red and blue.
We'll take a quick look at the stats there. Well, no, I did think Badgers had more chances than that.
Yeah, it's maybe just more sort of clear cut ones, isn't it? Really, and Hulls might have followed up on some, but yeah, I say it's a good performance so far from Badgers. It's an excellent first half performance to all be on sevens pretty much, with one exception. Just shows how little they've had the ball up front. Where Sullivan's had one pass, hasn't he? And Evans had 6 at half time, but Evans made that crucial difference with the goal. Scally's picked up a booking, but he's also got an assist. So some positive and negatives to the performance.
Yeah, the Sullivan passing is pretty dire, isn't it? 1 out of 5, and the fact that people are putting in more tackles and he's putting passes. And for Hulls, they'll be making no changes unless there's any injuries that are of real note here. Emerson might be a 60-minute candidate, but at the moment it's not been recommended. It says no subs unless injuries occur. So I don't know, but not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, he's still fit enough for the moment, isn't he, to stay on there? So yeah, it was interestingly poising. With Hulls have had more shots than we give them credit for. So can they get back into it in the second half?
We shall see. And the second half is kicked off with still again more chances. Badgers going forward. Ronaldinho takes a card and it's 2-0. Neil Sullivan scored from goal after Manninger did it the other game. 2-0 is a comfortable lead to have at this point, but it is not certain of victory. So Dede and Mourinho now on 5s, and I think Emerson now will be classed as an injury.
Yeah, he's not going to last the game, is he, at this rate, really? So it's just a question of who to bring on, really.
They kind of need the attacking choice, don't they, to go for it? I mean, he's played quite well, Danielson, so far. And then when you look at Jeremy, he's also played fairly well. But I think it's Danielson, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I would, but having said that, your usual choice is to go with the player who's played the most, and that's Jeremy. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I'd go for Danielson just for something different. They do need the goals, and like you say, he's played well. He's got 3 goals in 2 cup games, so I'd probably bring him on this one. Yeah.
And when the team's behind, I think they do need to go for a more attacking option there. They both play. I mean, would you leave him in the middle or Ronaldinho in the middle?
I'd leave it as it is. Yeah, it's. I don't think it makes too much difference when they're in centre mid anyway. For both of them, it's still classed as a centre mid position, isn't it?
And for Badgers, I'm not sure if Tato is here. He may well have fallen asleep after his heady night out on honeycomb beer. But he doesn't mind about conditions at all. It's not a problem. Condition is a myth. They're 2-0 up. And would you change anything?
No, not a 2-0. So the only thing I'd be careful of is Scally with the booking because we've seen a spate of reds tonight, haven't we? But he's played in 8, so I wouldn't take him off in this particular performance
No,
so
I think
far.
we're going to just leave it as it is. So just the one change. And kicking back into the match here. Chances again for Badgers. Looking comfortable still. The more the game goes on, the more chances they have. They're just I just can't see Wolves getting back into a 2-2. Maybe one goal back. It's gone quiet after an interesting bit after the substitutes. And there's a red card and it's Derry. So they're going to have to go for a change somehow. And would this be. Well, let's see if anyone's injured further forward. Just Figo off and Junior on.
Yeah, I think that's all they can do at this
Yeah,
point. I think the game's beyond
kicking.
them with 5 minutes to go, isn't it? So it's probably preserve Figo, stick 4 men in the back, 2 in midfield, and see if they can maybe get a goal.
Yeah, nothing else can be done there really. You won't put one of those centre backs out to left back. So a few minutes left. It's still all Badgers at this point, and a comfortable 2-0 win. Bulls lose ground on the top two again.
Yeah, it's all been going wrong, hasn't it, since I predicted Hulls will win the league. But yeah, looking at the balance of play there, 8 shots each, 6 on target, it doesn't really tell the tale. It definitely seemed like Badgers had more of the commentary down the bottom. It's one of those where Hulls haven't really turned up at the best, and Badgers have put in an excellent performance, particularly Scally in midfield. So yeah, it's I mean, it's not a bad performance from Hulls, other than for Dady, who got a 4 and a red card, is pretty worrying.
Mm. Sky to Collins. Collins with a shot. Rogerio parries it, and Sullivan gets the rebound in. And yet, as you said, that 4 for Dede. I mean, yeah, you look at his performance and it wasn't very good, was it?
No, I mean, if you compare and contrast it to his fullback teammate with a 9 and all them headers one out of one tackle, whereas Dede's tackle was, I don't know if it was a tackle point that cost them the game really, but yeah, Elbair with an 8 played pretty well. So they did have a couple of decent performances. Yeah, pushing Warner away. It's just a stupid red. Probably a bit of frustration that they're behind, but other than Cafu and Elbair, no one really played well and can hold their heads high for Hulls. I mean, plenty of tackles from Emerson in that first hour, but he only won less than half of them.
Yeah,
So
less than half his tackles, right? Yeah, it's not the.
not a great performance. Lucio was quite dominant in the air, but Badgers probably didn't allow him to play. Looking at it, Scally with 10 out of 15 tackles, Collins with 7 out of 9.
Five
Um,
key as well, yeah.
yeah, everyone's getting involved, aren't they? I mean, Yavin didn't win a header, but other than that, every other outfield player won a header. A lot of the guys won a tackle other than Colin Sullivan and Yavin. So yeah, good all round performance. Everyone in the 7 and 9 and a few 8. So good result, fully deserved it seemed.
I would agree. What, we now 2 games to go?
I think that sounds right. Yeah, something like
So
that.
Racers versus Flamingos. I mean, Fifey, have you stayed awake for this one? Let's
He's
hope.
been quiet in the chat if he has.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, he might still be around. I'm sure he'd love to see his team pick up their first point. Is what he's really aiming for. Racers last time lost 4-0 to Trafford. Racers last time they played Flamingos, beat them 2-1 in the cup. And in the league, we don't mind going that far, we should be going straight to past meetings. It was 4-0.
Yeah, it was good performance from Craig Bellamy, yeah, wasn't it? On this one with 2 goals. Kumas off the bench got a 9. So yeah, good result last time. I don't know if it'll be the same this time though, because Flamingos under new management, they've progressed a bit, haven't they, in terms of the season? So that they will be getting better, the players on the Flamingos team, and having a proper formation now might help. I don't know how they lined up for that one, whether it was the 5 attackers, but it's going to make all the
It probably
difference.
was,
But
yeah.
interesting to see the races with the change from the usual formation. They've gone a little bit more attacking. Whether it's cost of playing Flamingos and they think they can get some more goals, I presume that's probably the case. But that might leave them a bit more susceptible at the back. So yeah, we'll see what the Flamingos lineup looks like. But it's a bold move from races to go that more attacking lineup.
Were they playing two up front before, though?
It was a 4-1-3-2, wasn't it? I think
Yeah,
that's what they played
so
all season for everyone.
could just go for the one up top this time round against Flamingos. We'll have to see how this gets on. And for the Flamingos, yeah, everyone's available. Oh, training tactics. Tyler Martin leads a front line there with Tolly and Samba just behind.
Yeah, interesting. Again, we've gone for the sort of the wall at the back there, and it's I suppose the 3 attacking mids of races will be nullified by those. Montari's got to play better tonight than he has done before. It's interesting to see how Samba's still getting in there on 93% when there's other options like Jocelyn's on 100, isn't he? And he's got a goal as well this season, if not a couple. So he's probably been a
Two.
slight better attacking threat. But yeah, it's decent lineup from Fife. It's a lot better formation than we've seen before, um, and as the fans are all aboard the Flamingo boat, and I think I might join him for this. If they're going to get a point in any, this is a good one to get one in. So let's say I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to say 2 goals Flamingos.
2-2. Oh, that'd be superb. I mean, all this chat about flamingos, fantastic flamingos. Yeah, races. Obviously, good luck to you as well. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I like what they've done to change the formation to go for it. It's just it's one of those, isn't it, where Flamingos have to get a point at some point. So races with them being in the table where they are, it's there's no better chance for Flamingos than there is currently against these. But yeah, races again, it's a strong concept team, but Flamingos will be better than the earlier performance between the two.
all my random clicking there was there a worse defender than McCready? And I didn't find one.
Well, you won't get one in Clayton. He's still playing, isn't he? I think he's at Catania at the moment.
Still playing. What's he got? 34?
36, I think.
36. Of course, yeah, he's not. So 2-2 going for. Well, let's see. And race. Oh yeah, commentary speed needs to be put up for this one. Earnshaw's had a chance already, and it's definitely so much more races than flamingos at this point. And there's Gary Speed opening the scoring. So there's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. They have to get the ball first to be able to do that, and it's not quite happening. But I mean, they got a bit of pink on the ball. Who knows what could happen there? Will I get their pink pancakes on it? Still 1-0, 25 minutes in. It's certainly more flamingos there. A yellow card for Gary Speed. It's really hard to read. And shows me 2-0. It's incredibly hard to read the pink and blue. I can't imagine if I could keep in this next season. Is he going to go red and white Swindon colours? Who knows? We are just a few minutes from half time. A chance nearly, but nothing coming of it. And it is half time. And it is looking at the Racers side. Fairly comfortable.
Yeah, good hour from races. To be fair to him, good performances from Speed and Sean Jones in particular. I think he made a good save at one point. No idea who from, but yeah, looking at the ratings again, everyone outfield on a 7, so no one letting the team down. Flamingo's ratings are better than usual. To be fair at this point, but again, we're looking at Sully Montari letting the team down with an awful performance. So fans are going to start to question as to why the manager persists in playing him when he produces such poor performances on the pitch.
Is that the exact text from?
No, I don't think it's the exact text now.
There's
But
the
yeah. I
stats
mean
for you.
that's borne out by the stats, isn't it? Nine out of 10 shots on target for races. So we've seen a few teams being wasteful in the shooting tonight, but races certainly haven't been. So they've been in good form, playing well, and it might be a confidence boost. Whether how much is down to the change of formation, I'm not sure. I don't think that they got quite the same result with their old formation. So credit to the manager for making that change, but. Flamingos, a couple of shots on target is decent by their standards. So they're not playing too terribly, and they're not quite out of it yet.
Yeah, I mean racers don't make subs often. I can see Kumas coming off at 60 minutes though.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a knock of some form, doesn't he? I'm just like they've not had to make too many tackles, have they? A few of them made tackles, but there's no numbers that stand out. Everyone's winning the ball in the air because they're playing against a bunch of kids, other than Matt Delaney, and Earnshaw's been shooting a lot up front, hasn't he? So it's a good hour from it. It's probably the best look for quite some time,
Yeah,
and they'll be hoping to keep it up in the second half.
and they'll need to with such great players as Aquilani and Shane Tolley on the pitch.
Aquilani's stats, I think, he's looking fairly good now, aren't they?
Yeah,
He's
he's
developed a
turning
lot,
out
and
pretty well.
7 out of 10 headers as well. So he's the one throwing himself around a bit. He's going to be the one that could be a change for these. Samba and Martin have both been fairly well involved. Samba needs to start winning headers or tackles or something other than just passing. But Martin's probably the one threat they've got who's not really had the shots. So Tolly and Aquilani have had shots. Montari's been wasteful. He's not won a tackle, not won a header, and he's put 2 shots off target, and he's only made 4 passes. So again, he's probably a candidate for a substitute at
Yeah,
the.
and as I've looked at Fifey with his record of what he's done before, what he did at Gondor was for anyone 5 or under at half time. So I'm just going to check whether there's anything else Stackington related for Stackington related, Swemp related, sorry, and Flamingos related Stackington. I don't believe he's made. No, no, I think it might well be. To just go in with the 60. Yeah, I think it's going to Montari off 5 or under at this point. We'll stick with that one. So he's been playing a defensive midfield role, but he's not a defensive mid. So I mean that leaves it open. I think Thomas Christensen's probably the one, isn't it? Come on, he's played badly this season, but Miller he's played bad.
What about Thomas Christensen? Matthew Christensen, even so.
Matthew Christensen,
Yeah, I'd bring in Thomas, yeah, instead.
yeah, yeah, the two Matthew Christensens to both come on. Yeah, well, second half. Will it make any difference? Flamingos coming forward on one leg, not doing a lot with it, but they've tried and tried, and racers have held on for the first part of the second half. It's definitely much more Flamingos. They've had chances and they've been, say, Paul Jones having to play blinder. And subs coming up now, which is just going on and on and on. Here we go. So I think Kumas would be the one. Yeah, he's going to be withdrawn. Just the one change, Kumas. Attacking mid, it would be. Now, looking into it, there's only one attacking mid on the bench, isn't there? And it'll be a debut.
Yeah,
And it's Chris Llewellyn.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, everyone else is.
Oh, yeah, he's the one attacking mid on the bench.
Yeah, I think so. It's they're in front, aren't they, as well? So it's a good time for him to come on and give it a try. But he looks a fairly decent player. Yeah, we'll see how he gets on.
The Norwich guy.
I think so. Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Yeah. So he'll come on. And for Five Flamingos, yeah, I think Cherno Samba has to be the other candidate for sub here. Because I know that when
Yeah,
Frankie put 80 or under at 60 minutes was what he said when it was Gondor days.
yeah, we're looking tired out in Crofts. Another one who's fairly tired, but Samba's the one of the two. If you just want to keep it two subs, I'd probably go Jocelyn at this
You
point. I know it's
mentioned
not an
Jocelyn
attacking mid,
before,
but
and
Samba's
Samba's a
Samba's not an
striker.
attacking mid either, is he? So yeah,
Yeah.
it's more the like for like replacement. I know we've seen Minarelli before, but I think they need goals, and Justin will get one.
Well, both goalkeepers playing very, very well this game. 25 minutes to go. Subs did roll on a little bit there. What can you do if you don't want to kick the ball out? 15 minutes till the end of the game. Earnshaw's made it 3-0.
Oh, here
Comfortable.
he is.
Oh, there he is. He's joined. Yeah, I did try and get in touch there. He's so hopeful. And yeah, nearly the end of the game. Hasn't been the worst performance in the world. Jostlin's put one just off target. And there we are. Yeah, it didn't work out with the subs for them. Racers have performed a lot better.
Yeah, you've got
But
to
yeah,
credit races because they've played well, haven't they? If you look at the ratings of the players, there's quite a few H in there. Like you said, Jones was playing really well at one point, and yeah, Flamingos, I'd probably the most even game they've played, haven't they? Really, 12 shots to 13, a bit wasteful in front of goal with just a 6 on target. But yeah, as Fife says, there better ratings from the players. There's some good performances from Aquilani in particular. Played fairly well. Was it Yarstein in goal? Played well as well. So plenty to be positive
oh yeah,
about.
yeah, good performance.
But also for races, yeah, again, confidence booster. They've changed the formation. Players are playing well in it, and the players have got some good ratings. So yeah, good result for racers, but decent performance from both teams.
Gary Speed influential on the goals. Picked up a loose ball, scored one, set up the second, and then played in Bellamy to set up Earnshaw for the third. So yeah, oh, because this if you don't have to apologise for falling asleep, these games do kick off in the middle of the night, so don't worry about it whatsoever. Yeah, ratings are pretty good. Aquilani, captain's performance, doing what he can. Didn't need to win tackles. He just slid around with his head.
Yeah, it looks that way. I mean, I suppose the one that's not working is Montari in defensive mid who came off at half time. Then Christensen's gone in there, and perhaps this squad doesn't lend itself to that formation with so many defensive mids. But it's understandable why we're
Yeah,
going with
trying to
the more
defend.
defensive approach. But it's potentially just trying to find someone who can play well in there rather than. I think Montari's probably run his race for me. I'd be taking him out, but I mean, the youngsters, Darley and Stocker, have performed fairly well. People are doing generally pretty well. Tolly looked fairly good. He's not had an awful lot of performance, I don't think, this season. But Martin had a couple of efforts, didn't he? Jawson had a couple of efforts. So a lot better going forward. Aquilani is looking like a decent player who could fit in the league for some other teams as
Yeah,
well now. So
yeah, it's
doing
like
well.
doing well for Flamingos means you should be moving on to another team. Yeah, Racers. It's a good performance for a team, but they have played bottom of the league.
Yeah, everyone's got involved, done the bit, haven't they? I mean, Kumas didn't make any tackles, but won some headers. Earnshaw didn't do any tackles, but had 5 shots and scored a couple of goals. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at that, there's a few nines and quite a lot of eights, a few sevens. So, excellent performance. Llewellyn's come off the bench to make his debut, and I think we've got to be pleased with a 3-0 win because I suppose with Flamingos having 12 shots to keep a clean sheet's an achievement as well. So good rating for Paul Jones in goal, performances from the defence, and it'll just encourage him a little bit near the bottom of the table.
Yeah, yeah, near the bottom of the table. I'm not quite sure. I can't see the table from where I am as to whether the Racers have moved ahead of Madrid Madrid. Whether they have or not, we shall find out when they play their next game. Imagine Madrid versus
You could look
Ajax
on live
Berlin.
league table there, could you not?
I don't like to do it. I don't like to do that one. Don't like to do it. So, manager Matt Timms, he wanted to go unchanged. I told him he had 3 players out, and he didn't get back to me. So I've just done the closest possible changes I can. Lescott was on the bench, so he fills in for John Terry, and Gareth Barry comes onto the bench. Lampard was already playing there. Mendieta is playing right back. I'm not swapping him out of right back. So Tim Cahill comes into defensive mid, and Yordi's out, and there isn't an attacking midfielder that's available. So a central midfielder available with Cahill going there. So Calvo Garcia comes in, and that's what makes that team for today.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Mendieta's been fairly influential from fullback, hasn't he? So it's a good job he's in that position. And yeah, there's not an awful lot of other alternatives. It really is in the defensive midfield position. But Cale's got the ability in the air. He's combative as well for out of those, and he's the best placed midfielder to play that position. I think Fowler did fairly well, didn't he, in his last game? I'm not sure how he's got on in their last game, but I think they've had a better performance from memory. So yeah, Smith and Fowler up front will be interesting, and it's a tough one to call this again because Iron Curtain are a decent team. Yeah, 2-1 last time out with the introduction of Vasiliuk off the bench, and it was a late one, wasn't it, last time round? Yeah, 3 goals all in the last 15
A
minutes.
downpour. And Ryan Curtin, who go back in under Lennon after Lennon was sacked. And so Duggan looking to see what they can do this time round with back to a 4-1-3-2 and back to players who would mainly be playing. Barras has not played a lot this season though. It's his league debut.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on because they've not been in the best of form. The thing that's a little bit concerning with this one is they've got 6 players with a yellow card off a suspension, and they've got a strict referee for the game. So can they avoid red cards in the game to start, but also suspensions? Again, I real like the concept they've got here. I like the Imaginary Madrid team too. So it's a difficult one to call, but particularly with the form they've been in. It's Madrid are in slightly better form at the minute, but Iron Curtain, I would say, the slightly stronger team. So I'm going to sit on the fence for this, and I'm going to call it 1-1.
1-1, and basically subs are not happening unless they absolutely need to in this game. So it'll be a quick one. So it's from Tora Holland refereeing. I think he did last time they played each other. So I'm not entirely sure. We've got a slow commentary on there, of course, haven't we? So it is 0-0. Iron Curtain looking like they're probably pressing a bit more than their opponents. And there's 1-0. Shevchenko with the goal. And this would leave the
Yeah,
bottom
that's a good
3 in
start.
some danger. If this was how it ended, I think there'd be an 8-point gap between the bottom 3 and the rest.
I can't remember. I haven't looked that far down the table.
Yes, confident of you.
No, I saw Iron Curtain with 4 points behind me. So if they get a win on this one, they still remain behind, luckily. So it's close enough.
And there's 2-0. Nikiforenko making it 2. Fowler pulls one back for 2-1. And this game has come to life. It really has. It didn't take till 75 minutes to get a goal this time around when they play each other. They continue the entertainment from last time. Nick makes a great save. And we're almost at half time, and now we are 2-1. What a great first half it's been for him, but also the goal scorers for Iron Curtain.
Yeah, it was a good half from Iron Curtain. They started off really well, and then Madrid, once they got the equaliser, once they got the first goal, they almost came close to an equaliser too, or they did come close to an equaliser. They almost got one. Iron Curtain. As you say, look at the performances: 3 nines, couple of 8s, excellent half by them. There's only really Robin who's playing fairly well for Madrid. However, there's only 1 goal in it still, and we saw that Nigma had to make a good save to keep them in front.
He did indeed, and the chances are that Madrid have had more.
Yeah, that's a little surprising.
Yeah, to me as well.
but Iron Curtain I've made the most of the chance, haven't I? I suppose 4 shots on target and 2 goals. So whether it's question marks against the keeper or whether with the good finishes, you don't know. But it's good half for football. Anything could happen, yeah. And Iron Curtain did look on top from the player ratings.
Quick look at the goals. And the opening one, Shevchenko, Milevsky's ball in. Shevchenko finishes. Then for the second, which made it 2-0, we had Karpin to Nikiforenko, who takes on Robin and puts it in. And then Fowler with Calvo Garcia. No, he didn't. Nope. He found Robin, and Robin was played in by Fowler. Robin Fowler. Yeah, I think Iron Curtain, there's lots of ones around in the stats. They haven't been setting the world alight, but in terms of ratings, he's looking pretty strong.
Yeah, Milevsky's been the most prolific tackler, but he's got that booking. I don't know if that's one that I don't know if he's one that'll sit out the next game because of the booking. But yeah, like you said, they're sharing it around out there between them all. So he's out the next game, which will be a big miss for
And that is
the
his
way he's playing his
sixth
first
booking.
half. So
So
he's just got to keep it really clean, hasn't he, for this second half? Because he don't want to pick up a red.
I mean, this isn't a league where you get 3 games, 5 games, and then 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not every booking now, is it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It's
You'd hope not. We haven't
well, he needs
seen
to be
that
more
far into it.
disciplined.
Yeah, well, a yellow card to suspension, but yeah, into the opposition, even less impressive. Yeah, there's not a lot to say about it. Alan Smith trying to shoot, and some players forgetting their passing accuracy.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty bad that the midfielders aren't really making a tackle, are they? Calvo Garcia and Lampard. Ashley Cole's not made one at fullback. Nobody's really winning headers. A couple of headers for Kale as you'd expect, but he's lost 4, and Lescott and Robert 1 each. So not at the best. It's only 2-1. Things can turn around in the second half potentially, but we'll see who gets the first goal in the second half.
And I'm going to do a quick check at 60 minutes, but if a player is under 75%, I'll change them, but otherwise I won't, because the teams don't want any subs otherwise. And there, 2-2. Alan Smith gets his goal to pull it back, and we go into the last half hour, and the yellow card just issued there. No changes for Iron Curtain, and for Madrid, Robbie Fowler 75. I said under 75. Not going to do it at that point. Imagine Madrid always say no plans, so I'm not going to go with any changes there at all. And the game is back underway. It's gone to slow commentary again.
Cahill needs to come off, David says. Well, he's doing all right now. He's got a 7. He's getting better, and Mostovoy's got off
Mustafa is
instead.
coming off. What's wrong with Cahill? Just the fact he's playing badly. Cahill.
He wasn't doing too well at half time, was he, with a 6?
So we keep just move Nikiforenko over that way. Cahill is not a 7, Tim Cahill, but yeah, his fitness is all right. Maybe he just doesn't like Tim Cahill. That might just be the simple thing. I just don't like Tim Cahill. How can you not like Tim Cahill?
Good question.
Yeah, this is looking like an interesting match between the two sides still. And there's Shevchenko with a 30-yard chip. Was that for a goal?
Yeah, it
It
was.
looked classic. Czech with no chance. 3-2 to Iron Curtain, 4-2 with Sigalko. And another chance there. I think Nikiforenko had one. Karpin couldn't finish it off. Can they make it 5? They've hit the bar. Solid performance from Iron Curtain. And to get 3 10s, he's not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, once Mostovoy got sent off, you wouldn't have backed them to go on and win it, because I think the 9s at half time had turned into 8s for those guys. But look how strongly their will is to come back into it. And yeah, 3 10s, 9 for Barassa. He's deserved his place in the team. Nick Batulli with a 9 as well. And I mean, Campo, to be fair, was probably the standout defender on the Imagine Madrid team at half time with a few tackles. But let himself down the second half. Fowler and Smith, though, again, some positives to take from the team. Good strike partnership they've got up there. Robin played well as well, so they did look a goal threat. It's just Iron Curtain. You can't really do an awful lot against Sigalko, Shevchenko, Nikiforenko if they're going to be on a 10. It's just that they've been in good form. They've threatened to do it to a few teams, I think, and the squad threatened to do it in most games. So I mean, Madrid have got to count themselves unlucky. They've been in the game. They've just come up against people in excellent form.
Mm-hmm. It's that change of manager, isn't it? You know, the Lennon out, Lennon in has made the difference, and the team have performed.
Yeah, that's it. And it's I suppose they've got all the right people in the right roles, haven't they? Whereas Madrid had to make a couple of changes because they hadn't had the side selected. So maybe the selection, if it's done next time, will change the result. But they've come against people in good form. Say that there are some positives to take from though. Campo, didn't really put a foot right in the second half. Fortunately, I think he was on 3 tackles, 1 at half time. So yeah, the positives are that they look more of a goal threat with Fowler and Smith up front, but they just need to have a look at the rest of the side now and see if they can just keep it a little bit tighter at the back.
Yeah, maybe Gary Kelly getting back in if they needed more in defensive mid.
Maybe Richard
back
Dunn.
There. Yeah, Richard Dunn could score some more goals. It'd be looking lovely. So plenty of goals. 3 teams didn't score. Hools, Flamingos, and Atletico Lunwell, all for different reasons. So wins for Iron Curtain, Trafford, Badgers, Racers, and Wanderers of Wolverhampton sees the league table being affected thusly, and Hools are now 4 points behind Phoenix in the chase for second place. Trafford 3 clear at the top after Phoenix were held by Fortuna. East Coast closing back up to Hools, but only just as they drew in the end. Was that right?
Yeah, it was 2-2 that one, wasn't it?
And Allenwell 7 points behind in 5th place now with Falaraki right there. Badgers, this is looking close in that battle now. It is looking back like League Division 1B again between those 3 sides. UN Rovers and Wanderers of Wolverhampton just level on points and 2 goals apart. For Fortuna, they are now 3 points off the pace with that, looking like that battle now is possibly a 14 race between you and Wanderers Wolverhampton, Fortuna and Iron Curtain. In the relegation zone, I can't scroll to it. There we are, 7 points adrift. Imaginary Madrid with 7 games to go. It looks like it could be a bit too far. Racers and Flamingos. Flamingos will go down if Iron Curtain get a victory or Flamingos fail to win their next match. It will be the first team.
I think even mathematically, probably a draw's enough for Iron Curtain to send Flamingos there.
The goal difference would have to be a huge swing, but yeah, if we have a look at
mind you, we've seen Iron Curtain capitulate before in the cup, haven't we? So
by 9 goals, was it? Yeah, 9 goal defeat. Team of the week is an interesting one. Barassa's in there on his debut. Cola and Said and Estevez all in for Fortuna, despite the fact Estevez played half an hour. Cafe in midfield. Oh, you're on mute.
I haven't pressed anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's an odd one, isn't it? Because I suppose that they couldn't leave him out. Two nines. Cafu's got the ability to play midfield, hasn't he? I'm surprised we're not seeing Sigalko up front with his 10. I've no idea why Estevez has got in instead of him because he didn't get a 10. Robin from Wolves, again, he was pretty crappy in the first half, but he managed to get an 8 and the winner. I suppose he was out wide, wasn't he, on that one? So yeah, it's interesting to see the 3 Fortunas in there. Paul Jones for Racers. So against Flamingos, it just shows how busy he was and how much he had to work, and a good performance from him. But nice to see there's 4 Iron Curtains in there, 3 Fortunas, couple of races. There's just 2 with Melville on the bench. So teams down the bottom have had a good night tonight. Kivu and Robin in for Wolves as well in 9th position. So it's been one of them nights that's closed up the league. Neil Scally's only been good enough to get on the bench despite his heroic performance for Badgers. So he's got to count himself a little unlucky, but yeah, makes things interesting. And other than for Trafford, who are miles out in front now and aren't going to be caught because of the squad.
Yes, it seems like Trafford may well be looking to salt the league very soon. Flamingos versus Falaraki, I think that's probably the death knell for Flamingos. We've got Allenwell versus Iron Curtain, which, I mean, if Allenwell have injury problems, that could be a very close match. Badgers v Racers, you'd expect a Badgers win. All the Racers are a little bit more on form than they have been. East Coast versus Wolves, you'd expect East Coast, I suppose. Fortuna Hools, well, yeah, it's probably the right time to play Hools for you, maybe.
Yeah, we had a good result. They didn't have such a good result, but again, it's one of them where they're an excellent team out there. So I'd be pleased to take a point from them. I won't expect anything, and a point would be a bonus really. However, with the teams around it, so I'm just looking Wolves. Hopefully, East Coast will get a result against them for me, and a Lumwell against Iron Curtain. But anything can happen in any of these games, other than perhaps the Imagine Madrid Trafford. And Phoenix, again, it's one of those where you'd expect them to beat Ewan, but as we've seen many times through the season, Ewan are a resilient team, and could be difficult for Phoenix to get back up to speed after the result tonight.
Very true. I think as we've nearly hit the 2 hour mark, then it would be a good time for us to stop. What I'll do is just say quickly the games will be played on Tuesday. It will be a Division 1 show this Tuesday. I want to try and get the two leagues to run rounds alongside each other, and this will take them up to 20 rounds, which will be the same position as Division 2, who've got a cup game tomorrow night. And then after that, we shall see. But yeah, thank you very much, Quinton, for your appearance again tonight.
Thank you for having me belatedly.
No problem, no problem. And to everyone in the chat, thank you very much for your support, even if it's particularly late time of night. And we'll see you again soon. Good night.